Well, naturally, the 31st is our biggest day because everybody's going to be shooting fireworks that night. We open on December the 20th. It's going to flow. It's a slower flow, but we've seen a lot of traffic this year. We're ahead of last year. And on the 30th, it starts getting busy, but your busy day is the 31st. That's when you're going to do a majority, probably at least 80% of all your sales.
And just to kind of get an idea, what types of fireworks do you guys have? Just like
So the type of fireworks that we have, anything in Texas that's legal, we probably have it, or we have something very similar to it. We've got fountains, we've got novelties, we've got your family packs from real small all the way up to over 6 foot tall. We've got all of your aerials, and then we also have, of course, all the stuff for the kids.
and then just in terms of fireworks safety, what are some precautions that you think people need to be aware about when handling fireworks?
Okay. Anytime, I have people ask me a lot of times what's safe and what's not, and my standard answer is everything is safe if it's shot correctly, and everything is dangerous if it's shot incorrectly. I just encourage people to make sure they have water on site for shooting because a lot of this stuff, I mean, you are dealing with fireworks. I encourage people to have blocks blocking up your cakes to make sure they're not tipping over, going toward the crowd. And a lot of it really boils down to just having common sense. If you shoot with common sense, then you should be good to go.
And you've had this business for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen any occasions where people mishandle fireworks?
I have had reports, I mean, we've been in this location since 2007, and I've had people come in where there have been accidents where fireworks were mishandled because, like I said, if you mishandle it, if you shoot it incorrectly, it's dangerous. We've had people had some scares. We strongly discourage anybody using fireworks in an inappropriate manner. Shoot it the way that it's intended and make sure the night's good and fun.
And with all of this information coming out with fireworks safety, what you mentioned, it's a celebration and people want to have fun. And I guess the purpose behind doing the story is just to be aware and be cautious, but also understand its meaning behind it. Can you talk a little bit about that?
About the meaning of the new year?
Yes.
Okay.
With the fireworks and people being safe.
Well, I mean, naturally you want to be safe, but it is the only time we ever get to bring in 2026. So it is a time of celebration. A lot of people choose different ways to celebrate. A lot of America celebrates with fireworks, and it's just bringing in 2026 with a boom. That's really what it's all about, and just being out there. You have family, you have friends, and you have a good time, but just be safe about it. So anytime you're handling fireworks, you need to be aware not only of what you're shooting, but be aware of where you have the rest of your fireworks. We have had multiple occasions where somebody has said, we had our fireworks over in a pile by a car or something like that, and something got tilted or something went wrong. And that's why you need to be very, I messed that all up. Hold on, let's back that up. Okay, so when it comes to shooting fireworks, not only be mindful of the firework you're shooting, but know where the rest of your stuff is. Because we have had occasions where people have said, I had my fireworks stored over 25 feet away and something shot and went over and lit off the entire batch. Now that's when things can get dangerous. So it's not only to be mindful of what you're shooting, the actual firework you're shooting at that moment, but just use sense and know where your stuff is. Be careful. So currently there's a Renfro's. We have 2 Renfro's in Mineola, Texas. This one here in Lindale, which is the closest one to Tyler. We have one in Big Sandy. We have one in Marshall, Texas, one in Timpson, Texas, one in Goodrich, and one in Cleveland, Texas. So that's our current locations. Unlike in the years when we had COVID going on, a lot of fireworks were really hard to get. That has gotten a lot better. So we are seeing we're seeing a relaxing on being able to get more fireworks than we were for a while. And then another thing that might be, since we are coming into 2026, we're bringing in 2026, this is the 250th birthday we'll celebrate this July 4th of America. So what better year to bring in with a boom than 2026?
The New Year's is always associated with family, friends, and fireworks. We love fireworks. The issue that we normally have is people try to pop fireworks within the city. and it's not allowed. By
That's-
ordinance, people are not allowed to pop fireworks within the city limits. So to do that, you need to go outside the city limits to pop any kind of fireworks. Within the city limits, if caught popping fireworks, there's a fine up to $2,000. We don't want anyone to have to be fined. So as far as safety goes, the weather looks good this weekend for fireworks. Just be sure to make sure that if the wind gets up and gusts to 15 miles an hour or so, please cease and desist using fireworks. That's an unsafe wind velocity to pop fireworks in. When popping fireworks, the number one issue to be concerned with is supervision of children. Children need to be supervised. About half of all the accidents, injuries that happen around fireworks time, around the 4th and New Year's, happen to children that are unsupervised. The number one thing that causes injuries with young children, say under 5, are sparklers. Sparklers can burn up to 2,000 degrees. So that's hot enough to melt small metal, thin metal. So children under 5, I always recommend to get the sparklers with the very extended long handles. That's a lot safer to use than the very small handle sparklers. When doing that, when lighting fireworks, always light from a distance. Try not to use a cigarette lighter. Use a punk or a fire starter instead of a cigarette lighter. Never try to light a firework twice. If it doesn't go off, leave it. And make sure you know your environment, your surroundings. We've had a wet week this past week, but with these high winds, it dries out the land, it dries out the vegetation, it dries out the leaves. So things are dry in some areas. So when you're popping fireworks and we have all these leaves on the ground, it could start fires. So just be cognizant of that. Know your surroundings. Watch your children. Don't pop fireworks under the influence of alcohol or drugs or anything like that. Any kind of impairment delays your response, makes you make bad decisions. What else? I always keep a jug of water by to put out unlit, or I'm having a brain fart. I always keep some water nearby to put out fireworks that didn't go off or still kind of smoldering. What other questions can I answer?
Let's see. I know we talked about weather. How is it looking for, is it safe for people to put fireworks out for New Year's Eve?
Yeah, as of right now, the weekend looks good. It looks like good weather for fireworks. Just be aware if the wind kicks up to say 15 miles an hour, do not pop your aerial fireworks. But all in all, it looks fine. We have had some rain, like I said, but in parts it could be dry. You could have a lot of leaves, a lot of pine needles on the ground, which starts fires. So just be aware. Make yourself have a good distance away from neighboring places. Just be aware of your surroundings. Yeah, New Year's Eve is always a fun, festive day, but just always be aware of the safety and your environment around you to make it a more enjoyable experience for you and your family.
If you could say 3 main things in terms of fireworks safety, what would they be?
My top 3 things in fireworks safety is make sure children are supervised. Do not pop fireworks indoors at any, and know your environment, know your surroundings. make sure you don't light off a wildfire that leads to burning someone else's property and leads to more issues. Also, make sure you don't do it within the city limits. By city ordinance, we're not allowed to pop fireworks within the city limits. Please go outside the city in a safe spot to pop your fireworks. No, they're, as of the last state legislature, they're adding some more safety features, but that's really on the retail side, not the consumer side. They're adding more safety packaging, more classes for safety for those selling the fireworks, stuff like that. But on the consumer side, it's safety's pretty general knowledge as far as when it comes to fireworks. Just don't shoot it out of a can. Don't light fireworks within your hand. While you have it in your hands, make sure you use a long extended punk or fire starter to light your fireworks off. Don't light an expended round off, a second time. Just go ahead and before you throw these fireworks away, the expended fireworks, make sure you soak them in some water before you put them in the trash can. That way you won't cause a secondary fire within the trash can.
Perfect. So.
I'm sorry, it's pretty self-explanatory.
No, I
It's
know.
hard for me to.
No, you're all good. I think I can take out some little sound bites.
You have to take out a lot.
Well, thank you so much.
You bet.